Now, the EC reverses ban on political party agents at vote transfer centers. Now, the Electoral Commission has reversed a directive to prevent political party agents from observing the vote transfer exercise. Now, in a memo to its district officers on Sunday, June 2nd, the EC directed that agents of political parties must not be allowed access due to violent clashes at some of the transfer centers. This sparked widespread criticism from various political parties and civil society organizations. They argued that the directive was a breach of the democratic process and could potentially lead to irregularities in the transfer of votes. And the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, in a Facebook post, said the EC's decision points to attempts to collude with the MPP to rig the upcoming December 7th general elections. Now, but the EC, at a press conference on Tuesday, June 4th, announced the reversal of the decision. The Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations at the Electoral Commission, Samuel Tete, said the decision to reverse the ban was taken following extensive deliberations. All right, so, Sadatu, is the NDC happy now? You pushed back quite strongly against the EC's move, and now it's been reversed.
Once again, let me say good morning to you and to our viewers, and to the incoming president, the next president of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Well, you've had a vision.
No, it's bound to happen. Yes. I am not saying so. Ghanaians are...
You're a predictor of the future.
No, I'm not predicting. You and I would attest to the fact that the country is going through crisis, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the only alternative Ghanaians have. He has proven beyond reasonable doubt to be a visionary leader, to be a man of his words, to be a man of, confidence, a man whom we can trust, a man who never go against his words. And so Ghanaians are rooting for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So it is fair for me to address him as the next president of the Republic of Ghana, and I hope you understand me on this. Now, the Electoral Commission. You see, for some time now, I wonder how the Electoral Commission thinks or feels that we perceive them from afar, because the Electoral Commission has not given us, when I say us, I don't mean NDC, but the Electoral Commission has not given Ghanaians the reason to trust them. Because in all fairness, if we look at what happened in Ayawaso West Wagon, it's one reason that NDC can stand on to make a point. If you look at what happened in 2020 elections, for the first time in the history of this country, we go to elections where 8 people lost their lives, including minor. It has never happened in the history of the Fourth Republic. And the Electoral Commission on countless occasions has given us reasons to doubt them, especially when we have card-bearing members appointed in that office, which it's a law. I don't know how to use the word, I don't have the right word to use, which is against the laws and the constitution of this country. Because if you look at Bosman Asari, you and I know, it's not something that we're going to argue about. It's not something new. It's not something I'm going to read his profile. We all know that he is indeed a card-bearing member of the MPP. And he's been appointed.
How do you know this?
That is why I said you and I would not have to go back to it and then
No,
make
I don't know this.
Oh, we've discussed this so many times, because you look at his background, he has never contested an election before within the MPP.
Okay.
So he's a card-bearing member.
But
nobody contests an election in a political party when he is not a card-bearing member. You first have to be a card-bearing member to contest an election.
Let me ask you, does being a member of a political party preclude you from being a part of the EC?
In actual sense, if you become a card-bearing member of a political party, you have some restrictions in some offices, especially the Electoral Commission. Especially the Electoral Commission. This is a middleman, or let's say this is the referee in this game. And then you appoint your own card-bearing member into that office. Automatically, you're telling your opponent you are one step ahead of your opponent. And again, it is unconstitutional. You and I know it's unconstitutional. Now, the Electoral Commission would also go back and go into their offices, come back and then give us a directives and expect us to follow. Right from the day of the registration, this current one that we just ended, and the transfer we're doing now, right from the day of the registration, the Electoral Commission would come up with a figure only for them to be corrected. They put a figure on their page and at the end of the registration, and then it will take the NDC to correct them that, hey, that figure you put on your page is wrong. Go back and correct it, and indeed they'll go back to correct it.
What's wrong with that?
Everything is wrong with that.
But that's
because
that's the role of those who are not in government.
Why should you always fail on your test?
Is it always?
Oh.
If it happens once or twice,
2020 elections,
yeah.
I am still waiting for the Electoral Commission to give us the adequate results in which they declared Nana Addo as the president. Because they've put in out about 6 results. And I, as a Ghanaian, do not know which of it is the correct one. This is the Electoral Commission we're talking about.
Will we not assume that the last one you saw is the correct one?
Why should that be the correct one? Why don't I assume the first one is the correct one?
But that's why you do updates.
Why shouldn't I assume the second one is the correct?
Don't we do updates?
That is
when you
what
do the
I am
update on
telling
your phone, the update, the last one is the correct one.
Why should it be so? Why should it be so? This is an institution that requires accountability, transparency beyond reasonable doubt. And so if such an office would put out a result and come back and correct, and come back and correct, and come back and correct, then somebody has to be there to watch the watchman. It means that the Electoral Commission is not doing well. It means that their performance is below average. I have 2020 election to cite an example. Now the current elections, as the registration, as I am telling you, they've put out figures on several occasions, and then it takes the NDC to correct them. And then we are transferring of votes. The transfer of votes comes with a lot of, a lot of machineries, because we've had, we have instances where machines were missing. And then the next moment, these machines are found. These are machines that are used in registration. And so it got missing, it got found. And look, I always say this, that election is not a one-day event. It's a process. Elections start from the branch, from the constituencies, from the region, from the national. And then it starts with registration. It comes on transfer of votes, and then exhibition. And then you come and then you give a directive as if, say you're doing Ghanaians a favor, you just wake up one day and then you give a directive because just one constituency had a problem. This is a very big building. And so you just decide that nobody should charge his or her phone in the office just because your security man had problem with the socket when he is charging his phone. And so nobody should ever charge his phone in the premises of CCTV. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I think that, first of all, the discussion about an incident has happened, right? And so we should learn from what has happened to decide on how we're going to move forward. I think that's what we do. We don't wait for multiple incidents to happen before you take a proactive decision.
Very
right?
well.
Now, it could be that we beef up security in hotspots. So we point out our hotspots and beef up security. Maybe that's one way of doing it. The other way is to say, listen, the EC is the one that invited political parties to say, be a part of the process, to observe the process, right?
The EC did not invite the political party. The political party have the right to be vigilant, to observe whatever is going on. It is our birthright. It's
No,
not.
no. When you say it's your birthright, it's different from being mandatory.
So should I use the word mandatory?
Do
you want me to use the word mandatory? Because I gave you an example of where we had a registration and then they put out a wrong figure and then we had to correct them to go and then correct what they put in on their page. So now, if the EC is giving a directive for us to stay back and out of the transfer, what if they go wrong? Who corrects them? Because it took NDC to correct them all this while. So who corrects them when they go wrong? It means that they will go wrong, they will not know they are wrong, and nobody is there to correct them.
Okay, fair enough.
You get my point?
No, I do. But
okay.
But yeah, okay. So you make progress.
You understand? And so it is something that we were not even expecting them to take a U-turn because in the first place we were not ready to take that directives. In fact, as at Monday when they issued that statement, was it on Monday?
Yes, Sunday.
Our polling agents, Sunday, and then it has to take effect from Monday. Our polling agents were all over. Even though some of them were restricted, some of them were heckled, but they were around. They were vigilant. And to top it up, our Department of Electoral, what do you call it? The Director of Elections got to find out that some names will be transferred to some various constituencies right after that information. And then the Electoral Commission gives out that directive that no polling agents are wanted around. And then I cited an example. I thought you were going to deep down into it. I asked you that would you stop all your staffs from charging their phones when they get to office because you had problem with the security man charging his phone with the plug? Is it not to solve the problem? Are you supposed to stop everybody from charges? Because we had problem in one constituency. You're supposed to solve that problem. The police is there, the security service is there. You're supposed to solve that problem. And so you will not...
I'll give you another example. So you gave me your example, I'll give you another example. So if you're in a building, has different offices, different rooms and all of that, and then there's something goes missing in one place, you will set up CCTV, not only in that room, you will set up CCTV in the entire premises because it's possible that stealing's been going on in other places that you've not noticed. So as you're saying that if it happens in one place, it doesn't mean it's a ripple effect automatically. But I'm also saying the alternative is that, yes, you could actually put out a complete blanket cover to make sure that it doesn't happen anywhere.
That is also possible.
Yes.
But in this instance, it's not possible. You cannot do that. Because I give you an example that if you are being corrected every time, and then you say nobody should watch me, said who then corrects you?
Okay, all right. Let's. All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we're back, there's more on News Review segment.